Let's move to the wits. Here we have BloodMage and Infernalist, both very interesting ascendancies in general. BloodMage was already very high on my list, and this definitely actually makes it even better in my eyes. Now, the first and most important thing that I want to mention about the BloodMage and the very distinctive change between the other ascendancies is that it doesn't have multiple paths on the starting point, as you can see here. So you always need to grab one here, which is Sanguinancy, and this one grants skills life remnants, and also it's giving your skills a base life cost equal to the base mana cost, right? So you always need to deal with that if you are choosing BloodMage. You don't have any other choice. Now the life remnants is basically while active, enemies you kill have a chance to spawn a life remnant, and critically hitting a target spawns a life remnant every few seconds. If that's 3 seconds, it might be okay. If it's more than that, then it's a little bit problematic for bossing. Picking up a life remnant grants you life, which can overflow maximum life. Now, whenever you see the keyword overflow, that means that it can temporarily boost that particular stat up to doubling the maximum that you have. If you have 2,000 life, that means that you can overflow up to 4,000 the maximum life, right? So very important to know. Now, let's check out 2 and 3 and 4 here. All of them you can pick up after you get Sanguinancy and you don't need anything else. We have Vitality Siphon, 10% of spell damage listed as life on this part over here. Absolutely fantastic. Oh, I didn't even comment that this passive tree is an actual heart as well. I don't know why I didn't do that. I really like this. I really like this. They have some very inspirational things on the design in general in the Ascendancies, like Chronomancer having the hourglass and BloodMage having the heart. I really love this. So yeah, that's a very powerful leech effect already. 10% of spell damage is a lot. You don't really need any other leech effects for it to be very powerful already and cover your leech needs on your build. Open source is a little bit of a weird one. Your curses have infinite duration. Now, this feels like to me that it's gonna be something very niche to use it. I don't see it being very powerful right now, but when it comes to the curses, a lot of things have changed. So maybe we have some good cases. I don't think a BloodMage is ever going to be support material. So yeah, I don't see it being useful on a support character in part play. So yeah, I just don't see it right now for this passive to be very good. And we have Blood Barbs, gain 10% of damage as extra physical damage. Elemental damage also contributes to bleeding magnitude. So yeah, this is a little bit of a weird one, but it feels like that it's gonna be a path of you boosting bleeds on that way, right? Gain 10% as extra physical damage, which is gonna be boosting your bleeds, and the elemental damage, any elemental damage that you're getting from the passive tree or generic increases will contribute to bleeding magnitude. So yeah, maybe a bleed build out of BloodMage would be possible. Now let's get into the good stuff on the left side here. 5 and 6 Gore Spike, 1% increased critical damage bonus, basically crit multi per 40 life. This was nerfed already. It used to be 20 life and this is now 40 life. it kind of makes sense. I already talked about this. It was way too powerful. Let's be honest here. That was way too much crit multi. Something that we haven't seen in a long time in PoE. So yeah, it kind of makes sense. It's still a very powerful effect, don't get me wrong. And especially if you combine it with the base crit hit chance for spells being 15% for Sunder the Flesh. So now this is a little bit of a weird one. In first sight, right? It is actually a very powerful effect no matter what. But like on first sight, you're saying, oh my god, base crit is actually 15%. Fantastic. But keep in mind that the base crit of spells in PoE2 is higher than PoE1. Like most of them are like 9%, stuff like that. There are some that have 7% base crit. But generally speaking, even 6% flat crit is never bad. It's never bad. It is a very powerful passive, especially early on. Like you can take this so that you can get very high crit, and if you get some insane gear later down the line and you don't need it anymore, you just swap it for something else, right? There is always that possibility. I really like the fact that the crit multi is first here on the order, so you are not forced into getting that if you don't need it for your build, right? Very, very important. I'm really liking that. And on the other side, we have Grasping Woods and Crimson Power. Grasping Woods is 25% of life loss from hits is prevented, then that much life is lost over 4 seconds instead. This is basically the Petified Blood aura from PoE1 embedded in BloodMage. There have been some extremely powerful builds around Petified Blood. I've made a couple myself and I absolutely love the process of building around that. And yeah, it is a very powerful effect. You do need to build a little bit around it to make it worth though, right? And then we have Crimson Power. Gain energy shield from equipped body armor as extra maximum life. This complements everything else on this tree, like Gore Spike and stuff like that, right? So yeah, it kind of makes sense. I would like those to be inverted because Crimson Power is something that you can get value out of it for a lot of builds in BloodMage. Grasping Woods, probably not something that you want in all of your builds. It might be, who knows, but like, you know, my initial thoughts on that. Generally speaking, BloodMage looks to be very, very, very powerful, right? Once again, some combinations, I mean, we always have Sanguimacy here. Again, you need to take that, you don't have any other choice. That means that you have another 3 passives that you can get for your build. Very, very easy choice is Vitality Siphon and the crit stuff over here, and build a life stacking spell crit kind of build, right? The other choice would be to go for blood bars and try something with bleed if you find skills that complement that, right? So yeah, that would be nice. And maybe you're going for the blood bars for the bleed and then go for Grasping Woods and Crimson Power, right? Just get the extra life to basically boost your EHP and not for the crit multi as well. Like this could be a very defensive character, especially if you are using a shield. Go for block, have a lot of extra life out of your body armor, right? And go for some type of build. I don't know if SST is gonna be a skill in PoE2. If it is, it could definitely be an option there, right? Go for SST bleed like we did in the past in PoE1 and go something like that, right? There are probably even better skills for bleed nowadays, but yeah, I'm just speedballing here. We have Infernalist here. We have plenty of options here from the starting point, right? You can go 10 or 11. You can go down here on this part of the tree. You can go on 5 or 6, or you can go and branch out here. So fairly versatile Ascendancy already just by looking at the capacity, right? And we have Ultra Fresh, We're gonna start from the left side here for 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alter Flash, 20% of cold damage taken as fire damage, 20% of line damage taken as fire damage, and 20% of physical damage taken as chaos damage. So basically this node says, you know what, grab as much as conversions as possible for damage to fire damage and chaos damage, if there are any other ones, right? I think we already have some physical to fire from the passive tree. I don't know if it's accessible for wits right now, but I mean, you can anoint that. And then grab as much max fire resistance and max, chaos resistance on your build. Or BCI. I don't know. I don't think CI is gonna be amazing on Infernalist. But generally speaking, if you could BCI, this is basically just 20% of physical damage being deleted because you are immune to chaos damage. Now, we have 2, 3, and 4 here. All of them are very, very interesting. Beidad's Gaze, Beidad's Will, and Beidad's Hand. So Beidad's Gaze is reserving 25% of life, and you're getting +1 maximum mana per 6 maximum life. So this could be something for mana stacking situations if there would be good on an Infernalist. We have Beidad's Will, so reserving 25% of life. You're gaining 1 maximum spirit per 25 maximum life. This is definitely a very powerful effect. I gotta be honest, this is definitely a very powerful effect. Like at 2.5k maximum life, you're gaining 100 flat spirit, and especially if you are using, Scepter, that you can roll increased percent spirit on it and stuff like that. Oh, that's a local. Okay, I'm lying. Generally speaking, if we have increased percent spirit on any other gear piece, I don't think we have, but there is a slight chance we get it on our amulet. If we do have that, this gains even further value. But generally speaking, what this passive is doing is sacrificing a little bit of your life, and you are getting more auras, more things to pop for your spirit. Now this could be a nice thing for a summoner in general, because you do want a lot of spirit on a minion based type of build, right? So that you can actually get more more things, right? So yeah. This is not really about stacking life per se. Like, of course you want a decent amount of life, but this is mainly so that you are sacrificing a little bit of life and you're gaining more minions out of it. Like, you can have more permanent minions more spirit to reserve more permanent minions, right? So you are basically increasing your army, increasing your DPS, and maybe even your defensive capabilities. And Beidad's Hand, again, reserves 25% of life. You are gaining +1 maximum energy shield per 8 maximum life. I don't think this one would be very powerful, but maybe on a hybrid type of build, you would like that. You just stack in a whole bunch of life, and you don't care about ES that much, and then you just have increased percent ES on your passive tree, which there is plenty, but we don't have increased life, right? So yeah, you're getting life on your gear, you're getting the flat energy shield from this passive, and then the increased percent ES from your passive tree actually makes you having a very healthy amount of energy shield. It does scream like a hybrid build here, life and ES. We're gonna have to see if there are more synergies down the line. Okay, we have 5 and 6 on this part of the tree here. We have Demonic Possession, grant skills Demon Form. Demon Form, shapeshift into a demon, vastly boosting the power of your spells. Now, this could mean a lot of different things, but we don't have a lot of information about what exactly that means. Is it like crit? Is it just spell damage? Is it crit multi? Whatever we're gonna get. I think it's gonna be spell damage. So yeah, very, very good. You gain Demon Flame every second you remain in demon form, causing your life to be lost at an ever increasing rate. So you cannot permanently maintain this, at least from what it seems. Revert to human form if you reach 1 life. use a skill that isn't a spell or reactivate this skill. So yeah, you can just get out of demon form by reactivating the skill, or just using basically an attack or a buff or something like that, right? And then we have Master Darkness here, which reads maximum 10 Demon Flame. Now, we don't know, this is basically to maintain the form, right? Because you're gaining Demon Flame every second, and that increases the life, the damage that you're getting per second on your life. So basically, we are maxing it out to 10, and that means that you might be able to get enough mitigation and leads, regeneration, whatever is gonna be your choice, to maintain your demon form for a lot longer, right? So yeah, they're giving us an option here. I think this could be a very nice thing. It really depends on what they mean vastly boosting the power of your spells. If this is something that is definitely worth it, then you would like to get those passive points and basically be on demon form permanently, which actually looks fantastic as well. An added bonus there. Let's check out 10 and 11 here. Those are the singular nodes ones. So 10 is the Loyal Hellhound. I've talked about this a lot on my streams, and this is a really strong defensive layer. 20% of damage from hits is taken from your Hellhound's life before you. Summons a reviving Infernal Hound. Reviving means that whenever it dies after a few seconds, I think it's like 3 to 5, I can't remember exactly the number from the closed beta, excuse me, but like it will revive itself. You don't need to resummon it yourself. It's happening automatically, which ignites enemies near it. The Hound takes a portion of damage from hits for you. Yeah, I think it's 5 seconds if I'm not mistaken. If I remember correctly, it's 5 seconds. Yeah, it's not a long time. It's not a long time. Almost all minion skills, the permanent ones, they are reviving. So basically, you don't need to keep resummoning your minion army. It's happening on its own. When they die, after a few seconds, they revive. And for each minion, like let's say that you have 10 skeleton warriors, for each minion that dies, they have their own, reviving timer. You don't need to do anything. And so keep in mind, once again, this is a skill granted to you, so you will have it on your skill list. You can pop as many support gems as you can, just like with all Ascendancy skills and anything that grants you skills in general. The sockets for how many support gems that you're gonna have, the amount of sockets is based on your character level. So I think the last one comes at level 80, if I remember correctly. Jonathan said so. Yeah, he said around there. So yeah, we're gonna have up to a maximum 5 socketed support gems that you can put here on the Hellhound, so you can increase their hit points significantly. You can alter their behavior, making it more defensively. You can add mid-seal and stuff like that. So there are a few good things that you can do with it. I definitely recommend it if you need to get more tanky, to go for it. Now 11 here, Greening Immolation. Become ignited when you deal a critical hit, taking 15% of your life NES as fire damage per second, 30% more critical damage bonus. Very powerful. 30% more crit multi is a very powerful buff indeed. Now 15% of your life NES as fire damage per second is you can sustain that. Honestly, you can sustain that. Generally speaking, you can definitely sustain that. And if you are a CI build or something like that, yeah, I don't know, I think, yeah, the low life is 33%. Once again, Jonathan answered that. on this. Yeah, right now it's basically like it used to be in PoE 1. Low life is 33%. They increased it to 50% in PoE 1 because of some changes and Petified Blood and a lot of other things that they did. But here it is 33% if you want to be low life. But yeah, generally speaking, like green immolation, it's basically like some spellcasters in PoE 1, you know, Aura Stack and stuff like that, but others as well. Like you're getting to a point at some point during the end game that you have enough gear, you have enough maximum resistances, leads, regeneration, whatever, that you can take that, you can take the RF always active on you and just get the increased spell damage that it's giving you. It's basically something like that, right? It's not an aura, it's just happening when you deal a critical hit, and basically if you are a crit build you will always be critting, right? So this should always be active on you, and you're gonna be taking you're gonna have 30% more crit multi. So it is a very strong buff. It is something that you don't take early on. It's not something that you're taking as a first passive on your Ascendancy, especially on a League Starter. It's something that you're taking down the line when you start gearing up for the end game, right? Definitely very, very strong. Let's check out the last three. We have 7 here: Pyromantic Pact, Bringer of Flame, and Sitting Body. So, Pyromantic Pact, maximum mana is replaced by maximum Infernal Flame. We saw a little bit of a glimpse of that on the reveal stream. Gain Infernal Flame instead of spending mana for your skill cost. Take maximum life NES as fire damage when Infernal Flame reaches maximum. Lose all Infernal Flame on reaching maximum Infernal Flame. 10% of Infernal Flame lost per second if none was gained in the past 2 seconds. And now, this is just to get the Infernal Flame. The bonus is, while not on low Infernal Flame, all damage from you and allies in your presence contributes to Ignite, Chance, and Magnitude. So basically you want to keep the Infernal Flame stacks high, and then you're getting a lot of Ignite, Chance, and Magnitude. Magnitude is basically more Ignite effect, better Ignites. And Sitting Body, while on high Infernal Flame, you and allies in your presence gain 20% of damage as fire damage. I don't know if this is gonna be good. Maybe it's gonna be nice for giving to minions, but honestly, the whole Ascendancy here does not have a lot of synergies with minions as I would have hoped, as they would, as they kinda, you know, said so that this was kinda advertised as the minion Ascendancy. It doesn't really scream to me, minion Ascendancy, right? There are a couple of synergies, but I don't think so, honestly. I don't think so. I feel like you can do minions on almost all Ascendancies. This is probably, Beta's Will is probably the best thing for minions. Just sacrifice a little bit of your life and gain more spirit to reserve more of your minions. But other than that, I don't really know. Let's talk about a few effects, a few combinations that we can do. The beta effects definitely are very, very strong, but they're also the effects that you need to build around, right? It's not like you are getting them and it's an instant boost on your character, right? So yeah, they're definitely very strong though. So if you're planning on playing a witch and going for some type of minion build, you can definitely go Alter First and Beta's Will. I've already talked about the merits of doing so, getting more spirit, increasing your minion army. But because SRS, if you go for that type of minion style with the SRS, it's a lot different these days. It's not a minion that you cast, it's a Nora basically, and maybe a Sitting Body also would be nice with the Pyromantic Pact. I cannot really assess Pyromantic Pact right now, generally speaking. I want to see this in action to understand a little bit better, and also I want to see how easy it's going to be to maintain it, right? we have a much different combat style in PoE 2. So things like Pyromantic Pact, it is very hard to understand right now if they're gonna be good or not, right? I don't want to be talking shit about things being broken or not. Yeah, if I don't get a good read on them, I'm not gonna do that. Loyal Hellhound, definitely something that I would take on any minion build. It's just a free damage mitigation, and you're gonna be boosting minion life anyway, so it's just a bonus. So basically, Alter Fresh, Beta's Will, and Loyal Hound, 3 of them already very, very good for your minion builds. Now the last one is a little bit tricky to get, right? It is a little bit tricky to get. So yeah, Demon Form doesn't really offer you anything for your minions. So this is definitely not what you would get. Pyromantic Pact by its own, it really doesn't do anything, right? You need either Bringer of Flame or Sitting Body. So it is a little bit tough. This Ascendancy, it feels like not having enough points here for all the synergies that you would like, right? So yeah. Magnitude is basically more damage for your ignite. Something like that, yeah. It's basically ignite effect. So yeah, for SRS you can definitely do a Pyromantic Pact and either Bringer of Flame for ignite or Sitting of Body for hits if you want to build them as hits creates fire damage. They already have 70% physical damage conversion into fire, and pick 2 of those passives, and then you either go Alter Flash and Beta's Will for more auras and a little bit of defensive, or you go full defensive and you're getting Alter Flash and Loyal Hellhound, right? So you're taking the conversions into fire damage because of Pyromantic Pact or Demon Form, whatever you're choosing on this. You probably will be building more max fire resistance. So this one will always get more value as you're building maximum fire resistance. It's gonna be a lot easier to mitigate those, and having chaos resistance is always very desirable. Physical damage mitigation also is something that very important and a little bit tougher to get as well. So getting 20% of physical damage converted into chaos and also 20% of damage from hits taken from the Hellhound's life before you, that means that you have 40% physical damage mitigation. That is actually huge, right? So it is a very strong defensive ascendancy. You need to find the pieces that will make it a good offensive one as well. So another combination that maybe we could get is Demonic Possession and Master of Darkness, of course, so that we can maintain our Demon Form. This would be a spellcasting type of Infernalist, not minions. And then you have another 2 points to get. So Loyal Hellhound and Alfresh together, once again, highly defensive setup. Or you can get Green Immolation, which is probably what I would go for, and Alter Fresh. Like, yeah, I would probably skip the Hellhound in that scenario because you're probably not boosting the hit points of the Hellhound as much as well. So probably gonna die a lot easier. So just take Alter Fresh and be happy with this kind of mitigation here. Keep your Demon Form always up with maximum Demon Flame and get the boost on your spells, and then get the huge crit multi out of Green Immolation. Once again, it really synergizes with Alter Flash because you will need to get fire mitigation here, basically maximum fire resistance and stuff like that. So that means that this kind of conversion here becomes a lot easier to sustain.